In-depth discussions and critical insight. Midweek Politics. Midweek Politics. Stay ahead of the political discourse with Midweek Politics, your go-to program for in-depth discussions and critical insight into Nigerians' government.
We are hustle. There is no anything to eat. Hello, ni bag of rice is in. Hello, la bag of rice tele.
Aid Forward as they bring to you breaking news and analysis, exclusive interviews, engaging debates, public interaction, election coverage, and all political conversations. Straight 120 minutes of live, unfiltered, and unapologetic political conversations.
At some point, we must ask ourselves that what has caused us to be in this presence.
Lagos.
First day of the second hour, 2025. That means by the 29th of May this year, that is tomorrow is 1st of May. So the Republic of Nigeria, after the February 2024 Atiku Abubakar had a 6.9 million votes. And of course, the former governor of Anambra State and the Labour Party, Mɪᴅ-ᴜᴇᴇᴜ, that had about 2 million votes also. And formers, and most time that election is always, to the Senate and the reps, that's the House. And it's always a reflection of an harmonized electoral calendar where there's no means to check the performance. So imagine if you have, a midterm election where the National Assembly elections the Central is doing. So you know that if you're not doing well, you will lose the legislative arm of the government. For instance, maybe party XYZ is at the federal and then they're not doing well. And the people who conduct or go to the polls for midterm election, and then we'll have our own unique way of growing our democratic process. Once again, you're welcome. Politics live on your super dial mainland 98.3 FM, and that would always come around every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. 120 minutes of straight undiluted political conversation we choose to talk about. Well, it's always a pleasure to do this. Like I said last week, with responsibility. So I'm always going to be here with than when he's on midweek politics. Because people say, side forward is pro APC in-depth analysis. I'm through some of the topics or some of the issues that we are choosing to talk about. Last week Wednesday, we were on this show. Party in, they had their emergency sec meeting in the morning. All went on your mandate we shall stand. So during midweek politics last week Wednesday, we were speculating 3 of the senators have already left the PDP to join the APC. About 6 of the House of Reps formed. But before we left the studio that day, the director of civic engagement and public enlightenment in Delta State actually addressed the press and said, hey, House of Assembly members, local government chairmen, every structure moved. And Senator Moagege, Abdullahi Ganduje, all of them, always super careful to bring in ideology with Nigerian political discourse, because a typical Nigerian politician is an all in Labour Party, and they will have a dinner of a lifetime in All Progressive Congress. That is how flexible they can be. But since the movement, Senate distinguished Senator Bukola Saraki accusing Ifeanyi Okowa of not being loyal to the P, from the NNPP to the ACN to the APC to the PDP back to the PDP. That on one side. There's also been allegation that it was Ifeanyi Okowa that cost Atiku Abubakar his election because he couldn't deliver. He still came out to talk that one of his greatest political regrets was to have been on the back of that wave of massive defection. Well, if you also look at Edo State has gone to the APC, Cross River is of the APC. We've seen the flip and scripts of River State have come out to endorse the re-election bid, but have twice come out to publicly endorse the second term, and the South Side used to be the stronghold of the PDP until they lost it in our 2023 election. Come to the APC side forward. There's going to be a lot of conversation around the Delta State today on the show. I mean, it's one thing to have reasons for decamping. It's another or an invitation and detention by the EFCC on the allegation of mismanagement of over 1 trillion naira. So the question everyone is asking side forward is this: would that case still be ongoing now that he's a member of the APC? And yesterday also started campaigning that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be allowed to continue and compete. Well, on the other side as well, the People's Democratic Party pulled off an emergency meeting yesterday that Atiku Abubakar is also going to leave the PDP very soon. Side forward, it's a beautiful Wednesday, and I'm happy that there's another time for us to come on the show.
You know, it takes a whole lot to. It's extremely difficult to catch up with. If you look at how, you know, things unfold.
If you sleep, you snooze.
It's just it happens very, very fast. You know, like you said, our another one, and at dinner you find them in another political party. So for journalists, it means that we have to continue to check and recheck, so that you are not misinforming the people. So these days you have to be sure. You have to check again, because, you know, things happen very fast. In terms of our politics, Nigerian politicians have no conviction really about anything. There's no commitment to anything. You know, so and like Barrister Curtis would always say, political parties in Nigeria are like a river with different move around. Because again, nothing separates this election. They have to present candidates, and we're bound to choose from these candidates, really. So, hoping that something will happen. But you know, it's been long that I've always predicted that, look, by 2027, the APC will decide for the PDP who is going to be their presidential candidate. And if you look at the structure of the PDP today, the people remaining in the PDP, if you look at the PDP structure today, from the acting national chairman to the secretary of the party and other national working committee members, apart from the central command of the PDP today, if you even go to the states, example, the chairman of the PDP in Bayelsa is telling the governor, tell him, make up your mind. All this one we the fellow favor. No, I'm just trying to establish.
Yes, that's the reality.
So it's not just because, again, we seem to concentrate too much time on what's happening at the center or the state level. Wike did not forget his politics of local structure of the party. He didn't leave it. Your states. I'm sure he's a man who has also been able to establish and solidify his base at the state level. Maybe 1 or 2, 3 states, maybe. But you can see that, look, an extension of the APC in the PDP. So how would there be a presidential primary, for example, in PDP today, Opeyemi, that a Wike will not influence it? Right from the... Because again, people are already showing their hand that, look, for 2027, those of us that will remain will just... I'm sure that... Quote me on that.
Please, come again.
The only reason why PDP will remain as a political party in 2027 and appearing on the ballot would be the desired party remaining. What is left is carcass. Right? There are 9 governors. 1 is out now. There are 8 remaining.
No, they had 11.
They had 11, sorry. 11.
9 will be seeking for re-election.
They had 11. 1 is gone, they have 10. 9 was to seek re-election. One of is part of the G5. He's still a friend to Wike. And his statement is already telling you that, look, it's not a PDP APC thing, no. It's Nigeria versus. So in his conversation, he doesn't even bring up the PDP.
His own party?
His own party.
That could field him as a presidential
thing. It's a Nigerian thing. And we don't know whether he is also planning to jump ship. And if he's going to remain as the, impostor that we've been talking about. But if you look at the 9 other governors, let's look at those states. the 9 governors have been seeking re-election.
Plateau State.
Plateau State. If you look at even half of the time when he makes a statement, he doesn't even talk like a god. And look, what is even Plateau? Because again, when you talk about opposition, you are looking at government. It's also about the viability of the opposition in terms of who is who in the party. And if you're talking about political parties in Nigeria, you are looking at also state resources that can be left. Because he was not if he was the governor of Gombe, we thought hold the party down, keep funding it and all that. But Rivers is a state that has the resources that a governor can deploy to continue to fund a party like the PDP. So let us ask ourselves, out of the Rivers has its, in fact, we are getting feelers that to normal, and at the end of the day, if Delta can jump ship and the last time Wike was giving conditions for peace in Rivers State, he said that it would be out of the PDP. And in saying that Rivers, APC Rivers must be involved. PDP in Rivers State most likely will go to the APC. I'm sure there are people who are already telling Fubara, Oga, what do you start to lose? Where are they now? Remember, he was always using trade at the end of the day. So I'm sure there are people who have told him that I won't be surprised if we see Fubara in trying to resolve his different issue. So Rivers is gone. Delta, that was supposed to be like the counter state
to Rivers,
already moved. Akwa Ibom is looking like the governor is just marking time.
The governor is the campaign. He's like the director of campaign.
And he said, look, a lot of the governors who have not made open declarations, they do afternoon to the APC.
There's also states.
If we hear that Adeleke is already negotiating his second term,
a lot of people won't be surprised
because of the local situation. So you see, so when we talk about the kind of politics of intimidation, coercion, we know what we are saying. So if you look at the entire South,
he's almost gone.
Bayelsa, that's why
it looks like Diri will
others have already made commitments to join the APC.
Your state also.
I'm going to come to that. I'm just talking about the South. So if you look at it, and even if Diri refuses to join the APC, what's really the impact of Bayelsa? If you really calculate, is it about the numbers or even the monies or whatever?
This is 92% dependent on federal allocation.
They're
not giving anything out.
So if you look at it, the South is almost sorted politically. We're talking about the political structure of the states. Early, as far as the presidential election is concerned. That look, you know what? There is no faction now. We have the
as an asset.
Thank you. That was what I was looking for.
As an asset.
And look, there is no faction anywhere. You are now our leader. Right. And I know that.
Same Mama Agege that was the aspirant that was waving
Mama Agege was still doing Agidi's sponsor.
They have coupled it.
Of the state now. The leadership has given to you. You are a big as one party. Under my leadership. Everybody is okay. And
there's enough to share in Delta.
Of course. Not the people's interest. We've always said that. Always. Separate it. The interests of politicians are not the same. Brothers yesterday, Okoyemi. I think for 2027, the cap in his calculation, trying to solidify the South for him winning the presidency. We said something the last time when we were doing our calculation. The first thing, Okoyemi, is for you to secure 2 of the 6 regions. You must be home and dry in the two regions. When I say home and dry, you must structure of the Southwest. Of the APC, if not totally, it is going there. We're already seeing the movement. The trajectory.
Looking like Peter Mba will move.
We are also hearing that. Because again, you to them now. Because again, it's just about point. I want to ask yourself, if I can negotiate my way into the APC, that's Fubara, how well did the PDP
stand for him?
Because there was even no structure to stand behind Fubara. The only thing you see is that we are behind it. The governors will meet. We are the governors from PDP. It's different to a lot of the governors who say, we are with you, Fubara. It's all fake. Like Wike.
All not fake.
So if you look at appreciate my way, so that again I weaken the opposition that would have come from the APC, join the APC, and know that look, I'm also home and dry. So, and whether you like it or not, the structure helps to bring out the votes.
I'm sure a lot of people realize that after the 2023 election.
And I need to also tell people that Buhari in 2023 was not on the ballot. The candidature of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's be real here. Even the president, I campaigned for you, Lule 1, 2, 3, to show that.
Look at the coup that was pulled off on the eve of the primaries.
So even before the elections, you saw that even Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the campaign say, the fuel scarcity, the naira scarcity is all aimed at me. And I keep saying it, Emefiele would not have done it. No, but they approved it. And those things, whether you like it or not, were the things that made the politicians, it made it, some of them were using dollars. Yafu money.
Abundance.
It will be available. So about electoral reforms, nobody seems to pay attention to it. So so if that's because we've looked at it, these electorals, because I don't think any of them has made it a top agenda to continue. But if you do your calculations, okay, I mean, I'm just trying to do too many things really. As the South on lockdown, politically speaking, the battle will be in the North.
Look at how quickly let's come in. They've taken Edo State from a PDP governor.
He knew what he was saying.
Exactly
he
what
knew
he
what he was saying. Yeah.
We've had Ondo and Edo last year. Both of those states went to the APC, went to the PDP. Kogi and Imo went to the APC. Now we have because
when you keep saying the people, I keep asking, and I was asking my psychologist on Sunday, the people I see as electorates in Nigeria, I don't think they are the kind of people you think will be able to put themselves together to form any formidable opposition against the ruling party. You are talking of, economically impoverished people, education-wise problem. These elections, I see people who will be ready to take 2,000-3,000 to cast their vote.
Another off-cycle election this time around again, which is going to be in September next year. Side forward, Ekiti's, Shegun, the candidate of the SDP in the last election, is endorsing. There's no opposition in Ekiti State again. But look at Osun's situation. Local government chairmen are saying that, we have the court's judgment that favors us, that recognizes us. But then there was another funny and interesting local government election that the PDP cleared all the local government after the party in the 2023 election. They should have some decent show. Performance of Labour Party in Edo and Ondo last year. Would you think the Labour Party is Anambra State, a former governor of Anambra State? It doesn't look like the Labour Party also want to get involved in that election. What is going to is Labour Party even existing in Osun and Ekiti, to put it in that context? So now you talked about the South being on lockdown, right? When there are rumors that news saying, the president cannot do this, the Lagos boys are taking over to preempt whatever the North are coming up with certain region of the country. There is the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, on that coalition boat. There is the strength is coming from the former minister of sports, Solomon Dalung, and also associated with the coalition, and some, a bit forgotten politicians that are also coming up on the scene. This lockdown of the South, is this the first 13 of those states?
Okay, I mean, it's not calling the bluff. It's just playing nations. It's always clear, and the law is clear, for you to win as president, you just need 2/3 from 25 states. If we concede to the Supreme Court judgment that says, regard Abuja, you must win those 25 states. But with simple majority, you must still meet the threshold of 2/3 of votes in 24 plus Abuja, and then consider what I meant Tinubu won 13 states. In 13 states. And so when we talk about political structure being very important in the last election, in the North, if you look at the votes tally, Atiku won Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the North. He was getting above the 25% of the votes. He was always getting it. So that is the game, because again, we must understand that, look, these are calculations. You have to continue to do these calculations. And that was why Abuja, the legal battle that eventually happened would not have happened. But somehow they could not even get the 25% from Abuja. But in the other northern states, even in Kano, the president was performing poorly. In the southeast, it was terrible for him.
It was a total clear out.
You will
total
see
clear out on the other one.
So, but what Asiwaju did was that in the southwest,
in fact, you can use.
Let me make the numbers. I'm looking for 25% from 25 states, and he was able to do that. So even in the north central parts of the country, you could see that he was able to pull the 25% he needed. So the question is this. I think we need to understand what we're saying here. Deploy resources. When we say politics now, the Nigerian kind of politics. Although we have guardrails, spending limits, all in our electoral law is just wash. Nobody implements, nobody. You can't spend anything you like. It will happen for free and nothing will happen. Have we ever seen anybody prosecuted for vote buying? Time the security operatives were just standing aloof as if they were concerned. They were on the field. We saw it. So, and like I said, this time there won't be scarcity of money to mobilize the people. To self-preservation is in nature, and it was clear that he was not completely committed to the election of Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu. Whatever happens with him, even appearing on podium with him, he probably was forced to do. And I'm not sure it's going to create a structure that will work against his interest. Hit your chest to say Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu will commit to a free, fair, credible election. Have you guys
odds are already against us.
Against you? Politically, the odds are
Even in
against
the numbers.
you. In the numbers, it's not looking good for the opposition.
And don't forget, it is not all the governors that will be contesting the election on that same time.
And
3 will do in November.
So, I need people to understand me. I'm not saying people should give up and lose hope. No. I'm a realist. I'm a realist when it comes to politics. I know the way we play it. We know the mindset of the average politician. And we also know ourselves as people. We know our limitations as a people. If it's about referendum and the things we say. But look at how many states. It was only one that went to the PDP. And telling me people, I know people, and not also complaining of the cost of bag of rice. And why it's looking extremely. Look at the opposition today. Has it ever been this worse?
No.
In complete disarray. I am even still surprised that Mr. Peter Obi is still in that party. For anybody who thinks the PDP, even the SDP that some of them are going to, I hope that one day will not. In the last meeting they had with ᴘᴏ Aregbesola was also there, Mr. Adebayo. Yeah, I saw him in that meeting. So, but again, with politicians, you can't be too sure of anything. The
leadership of the SDP, that all the crises happening in all of this. I'm sure a lot of people listening would appreciate how we broke down some of these states. Because Taraba, all of those states, their governors are PDP governors, and they will be seeking a interested in your states. They will not collect the state from you. It's a sad reality. But I mean, the politics that we National Public Secretary of the NNPP, Barrister Oladipupo Johnson, on Monday, wants to decamp from your party and go to another party, is a clear signal that there are crises in your party, because that's exactly what they used to hold on to. So the opposition is even making the defection very easy. You look at what is happening in the PDP. If anyone questions why you left the PDP, you say there's leadership crisis. The truth is this: there are. In case anyone questions you as a lawmaker why you have to leave your party, Labour Party, you say there are crises within the Labour Party because you don't know who you are going to address as the to be made. They're making it easy for these people to, they're giving them things to hide under for these people to move out. And as it stands right now, some breakings. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Governor Umueno, has said that his defection from the PDP is imminent. That means anytime from now,
we're going to hear the news.
Expect me to move from the PDP, and I'm not sure if he's going to the SDP. I doubt if he's going to the All Progressive Congress. And Akwa Ibom State is another oil-rich state. Don't forget that the number 3 man in the country, the president, said, is that not the reality that we are seeing right now? They are not even waiting for this. And I will microzone it to Delta and also see anytime soon. Now, look at Delta State, for instance. When Senator Ned Nwoko left, words that Senator Nwoko is nursing governorship ambition, the minister of a party in the last election. So we have about 4 people that have not. Are you worried? Also look at the APC, for instance. Even at the general level, people just keep flocking into the party. You worried that the party could implode anytime soon?
You help me interpret this. I'll say it in Yoruba.
Round.
And that's one politics that exists here in Lagos under the leadership of Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu. They say it amongst themselves. And that's why you see that somehow they're able to resolve their issues. Now, for people talking about the possible, we are talking about a politician who understands the psyche of these people. Because as they come in, Yes, they are coming with their different. I've always honored my agreements with people.
To come back
it
to
will
you.
always come back to you. Look at, for example, the politics of Ekiti State. Everybody is happy. If you look at the federal government and why the presidency is big, that was a lie, but again, it's just one of those things that there's nothing like aligning with the center around at that level. There is enough to go around at that level. So, let's use Delta as a test case. The governor wants a second term. Senator Mɪᴅ-ᴡᴇᴇ.
Even Festus Keyamo.
What's the worst that can happen? Hey,
Calm down.
calm down.
Let Sheriff
Minister,
what do you
NDDC
want?
board chairman, do you know how big? I know, that's number one. That is if the president among them, Okoyemi, the president also has got what it takes to whip them to line. Oh, why do you think the PDP crisis? There's nobody, no person of influence. It does not understand the politics. But it's not going to be Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Okoyemi. Oh, you say you're as chairman. He will do it the next minute.
He will.
But look at the APC and the PD. And I told Barrister Curtis, I keep arguing with him, that Supreme Court judge, no court in the land has a jurisdiction to intervene when it comes to leadership. So look at PDP now, their leadership crisis. By the Supreme Court judgment, it has said that leaders said they will give them candidates. Let's analyze it now. People are listening to me. Tell me one person of influence in the PDP that can whip everybody to line, that can call every. So, at the end of the day, the APT stands a chance talking about real political situation of how we play politics in Nigeria. You know what it means? The power of the president, and not just a president that is self-preserved that will say, "Oh, I leave you people to go and so." No, it's going to get him. No, be Abuja.
Uncle.
All of you, reverse, undo what you've done.
Maintain
Down to Borno State to Zamfara, I can tell you that if the order comes from above,
Everybody
they will
will
listen. The power of the president to ensure stability in his party. But look at the other political parties. Who is that? Look at that is the PDP.
Even a Jonathan that was more like a wave.
Look at the pretense now. Oh, we have told their legal advisor to take. They can defect. It's only lawmakers. And I'm sure the lawmakers will even tell you that the crisis in the PDP is enough for them
to decamp.
because the secretary, unless something miraculous happens, Okoyemi, and that's why I said that look, it's a win-win of the APC for you coming, and yours truly. The opposition has been in the hands of people that are loyal to Nyesom Wike, Okoyemi, and if he's just alone,
He's floating alone.
he's just floating alone. So we can. That's why
I saw the video when the president was traveling, and then they had to escort the president.
if you critically look at all of these issues, something miraculous happen. We check our permutations, look at data, look at history, in religious, ethnic, zonal arrangements, and then
Now let's wrap up this one. While we go to the statement of one of the big wigs in Delta State talking about Barrister Festus Keyamo. But now that we answered for it, whether we like it or not, one of the strengths of every democratic setup is when you have in the opposition. Look at Edo State, for instance. The PDP was the majority in the House of Assembly members that are of the PDP in Edo State as we speak. Don't you think this is a day to autocracy under the guise of democracy, where when there is no opposition side forward, if we've gotten to that point where we go into that context, what is the balance? The president is playing his politics well, because if you sit an average APC member down now, it's a good side forward. Should we be worried that this country is gradually tilting into a one-party state?
It's absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And the beauty of democracy, Okoyemi, able opposition to thrive. Just trying to see the ruling party coerce, intimidate, or create system. We shouldn't constantly see a situation to where it's looking like, oh, you are the guys who are making it extremely difficult through the instrumentality of the states, through institutions, a lot of us are still asking questions as to the interpretation of the law. That's
pass judgment on parties now. It's to your own, to your tent.
Because again, when you talk about a one-party state now, I'm sure in the minds of people, opposition parties that are just existing for existing sake is as good as saying that we operate a one-party state. Even the President Bola of the dangers of us sliding into a one-party state, because what it will create that should even help us check the excesses of the president. I think I have a right to say, from what I've seen so far, this is the worst National Assembly when it comes to really the doctrine of separation of powers and checks and balances. Everything flies. So why is an executive bill, Lord Nye?
Conflicting
judgment, precedents looking a bit difficult. Nobody understands anything. Most of the judgments, question is under threat. A democracy, the beauty, look at the robust politicking you have in the US, for example. We're talking about midterm elections. I'm sure that in 2027, when you have viable opposition, so you can see that they keep flipping it from one party to another party. There's really no dominance like that. And you don't see a situation where, people are now jumping. It's not the case we have in the country. So if we have a president that now has absolute power, where would the checks and balances come from? That's a danger to our democracy we are talking about. A threat? Is that not a threat to our democracy? I understand the people factor that people keep talking about are supposed to be run by the representatives of the people. So if all of them have already been put in the pocket of the ruling party, then where will the checks
find ourselves? A lot has changed between 2023, 2022, build up to the 2023 election and 2025. So when that, it looks like it's now about politics and not governance. It looks like everybody is just trying to put and set their perimeters. Gave you some of these states. Plateau State has been under, severe attack, security issues left and right, killings, calm until this morning when the governor of the state said it's difficult, for Senator Adeleke, to find some stability in terms of his deputy is also under suspension. The House of Assembly in the state is under suspension. There's a sole administration together. Look at Osun State. Look at Enugu State. Well, Peter that seems to be on a good stead. Daudu Lawal is battling with bandits and insurgents. The communities have been taken over, renamed, by insurgents, and the party will sit back and understand that whatever it is that is happening is not just for them. It comes to choosing, making political choices, especially as possible, and that is coming from the Honorable Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, and on sitting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027 general election, describing such effort as impossible. I was on national TV of the structure of the All Progressive Congress. There's no history of Nigeria. I've campaigned for 2 presidents, so I have knowledge of the demography. It is impossible for you to do a coalition now to unseat President Tinubu. Akiyamo was reacting to a video that was made by the Labour Party chieftain Yusuf that was hinted on forming a possible coalition. I remember on Monday, and he said something. He said, if it is the coalition of the politicians, he can't do anything. It won't make any difference. You can't unseat the president. But if it is coalition bad, that is the only coalition that can unseat the president. But whether coalition unseat the president or not, there's no independent candidacy in our political party in our election. So if you are not voting for APC, you have to vote for another political party. There can't be, the presidency cannot be vacuum.
I see hypocrisy in statements like the coalition of the people when politicians say it.
There's no people on the ballot.
There's people on the ballot. It's political parties
party.
And the interest of the taking power from the APC. We don't have even independent candidates. You need people on ground. Because when we talk about
87,000
polling units, so you need the government is never uniform. In the minds of the people. So sometimes I tell my friends about your own reality and what you think. If we open the phone line,
people will tell you that things are better.
And people will tell you that, we know things are tough, but hey, sacrifice comes with, good things comes with sacrifice. And there are people that will say, things are tough, they cannot bear it. So you will never have a consensus amongst the people. I'm sure they have other considerations beyond all of this talk of, oh, things are tough, blah, 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 and all of that. So I'm being realistic. Oh, we might also always say, oh, is the APC trying to divide them? Look, Okoyemi, there was a time too that the PDP was the ruling party and they did a lot to divide the opposition. True. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the opposition had behaved like these ones today too. Oh, was the opposition at that time not also intimidated, Okoyemi? At that time too, there must have been negotiations on the come to us. We'll give you what you want. So maybe it's just a vision that we don't know. But I think the opposition has failed the people. They failed the people. How the people will be able to galvanize themselves? Where you think in the south is not the way they think in the north. Politically, there are different considerations. In Lagos, for example, Okoyemi, the thinking pattern of cosmopolitan Lagos when it comes to politics, I am sure it's different from that of even Ibadan or your state. And I'm sure that political considerations of Plateau State is not the same as that of Borno State. When you talk about the people, do you know that there are northerners that are spoken to? The same people we are talking about, I will tell you. Let the South use their ATS
to come back to
and
us.
come back to that. So for some of them, their own calculation, I think that's how their own reality fits it. So, because again, we as journalists, we speak with the people who have an electoral system that may not make it really count. Since we've been calling for, I'll give you an example now. We were doing a permutation amongst ourselves, political pundits, and we said, what?
I'm not getting involved.
I'm not going to run in 2027. I'm going to endorse someone. But I'm going to give my political structure. I'm going to finance just to make a statement to the APC that, look, they can be defeated. I'm not going to be on the ballot if this is dividing the opposition. Because, again, a lot of the opposition politicians are... And then we've been doing permutations on the ticket that can give Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu a run for his money. And these are some of the... Then, Rabiu Kwankwanso as his running mate. There are people who have said that, look, there are people who have said, okay, put a Peter Obi on the ballot. Put El Rufai. You understand what I'm saying? So, if you look at it, structure should be for this ticket. Peter Obi does not need a coalition to win. He knows he cannot run it alone. You know, he's been at the forefront of calling for a coalition. But
last election, Kenneth Okonkwo was on TV on Sunday and was saying that no matter who you are, or you know, he had left the Labour Party, even though he had not declared join a coalition. But the PDP had come out to this Nigeria. In the last election, they had almost 7 million votes. Okay, annex.
It's an annex, a political annex of the APC. That is what the PDP is today. You see that I've told you, leave the PDP out of the conversation. What is the PDP?
So if you take the PDP outside, forward,
these politicians who are say wandering in the wilderness, who are
enough, you know, to spread the message to the grassroots, to these the structures you're always talking about. Don't forget that the primaries of all of the political parties are next year.
Okay, I mean, when did the Labour Party emerge as a formidable force?
No, Labour Party have been in existence.
No. But they just, if the opposition can put themselves together, drop ego, drop ambition, work for the common good of the opposition, and sacrifice, it's Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
And I don't.
It's probably going to be a walkover for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu politically.
This is their honeymoon period. Putting all of these things together, the number of states, the number had. You know, over 10 senators, if I'm not mistaken. But where are those senators right now? Some of their reps members have also left and you know, it would have been a beauty to be defect from the APC to the SDP. 10 senators defect from the PDP to the APC. And even it's coming from both sides. Once you hear this person is resigning from the PDP, you can put your money on the fact that this person is going somewhere. The NMPP, which came hold on to the governor they have if he doesn't decamp to the APC as well, because one of those governors and one of the senators in the APC, in the NMPP in Kano, had also decamped to the All Progressive Congress. That's Senator Kawu Samaila. But as it stands right now, he said they can also align because there's
and why do you think they are going?
Hey, come on. There's no love lost between nomenclature of Ganduje. That means the day he stops being the going to a party where his PA and former commissioner and former that either Gandija has been reassigned and he has been happy. If RMK moves to the APC, Governor Abba Yusuf is they say it's politics.
Opposition politics.
But for the APC, is a good chance. But I'll try and take as much as I can. If you're joining in this big politics, we've been doing this for over an hour now, about an hour 25 minutes. We started off at 1 p.m. I would always run this program from 1 to 3 p.m. every Wednesday on your Super Damila 98.3 FM. The site for the messages that we have already. Then we'll pick the calls. Then we'll come back to the messages. 0913-600-0410 for calls. It is Midweek Politics live from Mila 98.3 FM. Prince, from all of that, is the press and the media not supposed to be major opposition in a democracy?
Our job is not supposed to be.
He said, can we rely on you media men when the people are helpless and they act cowardly? Nigeria must be great again. Side forward, they said we are supposed to be opposition.
No, we are even supposed to be political. We are not. We are supposed to be neutral, not a political party.
Well, from other opposition political parties to the ruling party that the Nigerian masses vote, I would advise Peter Obi to go independent. Let it be between the Nigerian people and this set of politics. The Nigerian constitution does not allow independent candidacy for the good job. My question is to side forward. I leave all these selfish politicians. Please help us understand these selfish politicians in the face of your side forward. That's a question for you.
Well, the change will happen when the people, and it might not be 2027. In fact, it's not looking like it's going to be 2027 unless something miraculous happens. So it's again, something has to change. Change is a constant thing. Not when it will happen is what I don't know.
Okay, more messages coming in. I said we'll read the message. In the 2027 presidential elections, to politicians, defection is normal because of their interests to be protected. The opposition political parties may be weakened in the hands of the ruling party, but Nigerians who are the real voters are not getting weak at all. Cannot be rejected in 2027 if Obi and Atiku eventually go into the coalition fold. If parents, ensure you register, get your PVs and come out on the day of election and cast your vote. Okay.
The threshold to win the presidency is not a simple majority vote. So even if Peter Obi, yes, look at the political spread. Where will that 25% of list the states and see where the votes will come from? If there's no coalition or support, Obi did very well. Was majorly in the south, ahead of the divide. It needs someone that can help him get the votes out. That's what we're saying.
Okay, let's pick the calls now. Pastor Ambrose is here to talk to us. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Alaji Fuad.
Good afternoon, Pastor Ambrose.
Good afternoon. Your number is not going for some time now.
Yeah, I've been busy.
Yes, thank you. He needs an article from the north that can convince the people. But I am curious he has done that. Even you heard what Kwakwanso said then. And if he does not have any of those northern strong politicians, he's not going to find it difficult. So I am asking what now? What is wrong with that? They don't want to, because Jonathan is more or less an Igbo dating record, or it is because he's an Igbo man. I'm just asking. Honestly, not fighting. They are fighting for their own interest.
Thank you, Pastor Ambrose.
We don't change this electoral system. Is our major problem.
Thank you, Pastor Ambrose. I'm not even sure if the people
to vote for Bill or adopt him, they are the only ones that can explain why. I don't know.
We can't. We don't know their thoughts.
You have Mr. Desmond on the line. I read my organ.
Good afternoon.
I need to be two of now. When I make this politics educate with joy. In fact, to make politics to become popular. In fact, if it is politics, I've given it to you. When I was thinking that body body,
that be side fad is pushing forward for appointment. What advice do you want to advise them? I remember I used to have for 2 years that they've been appointed. He has not had the one. He had not seen the governor.
The future is not decided by that.
He has car, he has office. He's enjoying everything that his office comes with.
I beg.
Ambassador Mɪᴅ, you're welcome.
How are you?
I'm very good.
You know, Fuad, I know 50 people in Lagos. They're going to sue Fuad for Paris. Honestly. Because, like, they want it. It's only Fuad. You know, it makes a lot of sense this afternoon. You know, when I talk about Tinubu, when he was governor, he was threatening job. You see, stand and Rudent are coming to your house.
You created the space.
Obasanjo, Atiku, and Goodluck, they destroy PDP. They destroy it completely. In 2006, when Obasanjo was going, they brought Yar'Adua and Goodluck. You see, what happened? Goodluck was there, opportunity something. In 2023, Atiku was supposed to come with Arubi or Wike. So simple. So after all they are playing that game, it is politics. We're not talking about development or whatever. I'm watching this group like Goodluck. You may assure you do like Goodluck. It's possible.
Facebook, let's still pick more calls. 0913-600-0410. Mr. Gege Joshua.
Yeah, bro, good evening. Yeah, I'm in Amwood right now. I'm around Oga for a politician. I can bet for you, but I'm not talking to anybody. You know, I believe before 2027, we know those who are political. We are already seeing the signs that some people, I think they are from LUP. I have not mentioned any name though, because from the analysis these days, I believe they are from some President Tinubu's tenure. I hope. I think in most cases, some of their permutation they will reform. They will come back because I believe after 2027, when Atiku will lose it.
To respond, honestly, means working for his party, the PDP.
President Tinubu or any southern person comes. I think we will do everything, fire and the like. It's not going to work.
0410. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. That's what. You see, you know, I don't support this president. He has not done well. But for this one, he has done extremely well. See, these oppositions that have been on holiday for long, the president for him. You get it? Today, Buhari don't want an opportunity. But that man, that bitter experience they have winning the PDP, said that they will never. In politics, there is no politics that is perfect. When people say free and fair election, for where? Even in America, allows in politics. So
Nigeria, and not necessarily a referendum on the performance. You know,
it's based on who's got the resources.
Who's been able to.
Karen from Ikotun says, "Thank God for ambassador." Okay. I didn't get that. It was written in Yoruba.
Good afternoon, sir.
So for me, right, going for a third time.
President
Obasanjo tried it. He got a letter from the Senate.
We have not even completed first term.
Well, we have not completed first term. There's no turn down the train. There's no talk about investigation, right? And people are talking about second term. So if people can talk about second term without any achievement,
we start
right?
talking of third term.
We can talk about third term. You know, the salary of civil servants, but only judges that be paid, right? An increment in military rank, but only general third term. Right, so you look at it, right?
Living in the future.
The game is a genius at it, right? It would have been better if he had money is flowing, but it's not getting down to the appropriate quarters, right? So for me, it is that as far as the opposition is concerned, Jonathan was quite unlucky that he was as president was fit. He wasn't by his doing, right? And they tore him apart. They tore PDP apart under him. Alimadu Sheriff, too many bosses there. Atiku was instrumental to damage that happened to PDP. So when it was time for him to reap the chairman to step down for Wike's ambition in the last election, only for him to not cede power to the south, which was a thing. So you begin to question the leadership of Atiku. He has said nothing, right? And the only tangible opposition does not in the north in your election. He doesn't have that, and his followers are saying that he does not need it. It is impossible to not need it.
Thank you very much. And funny enough, the last two presidential Labour Party, Ifa and Koan also had left for the APC. Is there something a running mates are no longer with you? In fact, one of them is coming out to say that one of his biggest political
failure was being
on the same ticket with you. I know that some of these politicians can make statements because of the election. Sorry, side fan, you respond to that.
Okay, all right.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Apostle Asted.
Please go.
Yes, it is good. I don't know why people are coming. Is to coerce, is to impose yourself, force yourself on the people. I don't think that is the best way. You are seen as somebody who is a rogue, somebody by coercing people, not by people are sharing it, and people are saying is a huge university of he will come as Mandela in South Africa one time, and they allowed somebody else.
Is also to still take 0913600 possibly happen because the entire National Assembly are ready to say yes to what. Just stop this one at this point. Kazim from Ejibo says,
constitutional.
I mean, just like you analyzed, I'm also of the opinion that it's only a coalition that can possibly defeat Bart and winning. You're welcome.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine. Good afternoon, Madam Ife. How are you doing, ma'am?
Expel Wike and his group and go back and organize himself. Because many things in PDP, and it's not the right, that's not the right spirit. All of us might get the place. Someone like National Gas Speaker, like when they talk, I finish with English for me.
We'll manage it like that.
When are you going to get that structure in the 36 states and Abuja and organize your party? It's still what?
Thank you,
so
Madam.
They have to remove these people.
Drama didn't start today. Hello, Ufoma.
I agree with you that there is nothing to fear in Nigeria. Let all of them move down. All the people that will work with INEC with a conscience in the mind of in 2027, our vote must count. Truly, let them move. For us, Nigeria are ready. Truly, those people normally say that some people will call and during the election. Do you know what you are waiting for? The candidate that will just stand up. That okay, I'm ready to do the needful. That's what Nigeria are waiting for. Should governor at the camp, senator at the camp. After how many people are the candidate? Even though the people are widely there by the pound people, more confident.
Sorry, Oshiodun Lawrence from Ajawa Estate. Apologies if that didn't come. That 2027 will be the APC versus Nigerians. I think this is a war between the PDP and the APC. But it's going to be between the APC and Nigerians. The people. No. Okay. I forward. Except you want to stay at home, you want to boycott the election, and then maybe the president does not get. How many of them have structures that can be worked with?
That's why we did like a SWOT analysis of the candidates. We had to do. Look, every candidate has his own strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to be. But he also has his weaknesses that he needs to fix.
Based in the south.
So it's just
what politics is about.
Yeah, okay. My follow, Mr. Payne.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. This is about Barrister Peter Oku. I'm calling from Bende, Maryland. Yeah, it's very simple. Concerning the alignment and the alignment of the political parties, some people versus the political parties. Now, all this mass, or in tune with what is going on with the why the politicians themselves are bad, stupendous work. That is not a sort of account democracy. We don't have any democracy in the real sense of yes, we don't have any.
I only know about politics. I don't know there's a camo politics.
I mean, we get to hear a lot on this show. Prince Wise, let's do this in 1 minute.
I greet all of you in the studio. And Mr. Fuasho today. I think we try. Only in can't go solo. If you go Obi, Without coalition, you can win. PhD holder in English in medicine want to go as independent candidate. They are politicians today. They are potential election rigor. Only the master rigor you can never make it.
Thank you.
Let me round up.
Thank you very much. Okangbelina says and the people rejoiced and were happy throughout his tenure. But with everything going to Okangbelina, thank you very much. Our smart JP from Surulere says, I salute my amiable to frustrate the people whom I heard and say the APC 2027 election is between the APC and the people, knowing fully well that APC to declare most of the states in their favor. Therefore, no matter what judiciary, thank you so much and God bless you. God bless you too. Smart Choir Bomb is imminent as well. It could be Plateau next. It could be Osun. You never can tell. Today as usual. This program returns next week Wednesday. Same time, 1 to 3 p.m. and on the same station, your Super Day with Kunle Daniels and the beautiful co-host BB the Biggest B. And by 4 p.m., setting the agenda for the people as we prepare for 2027 election. And by 5:30, there will be the Mainland FM Sunset News. And by 6 o'clock, we'll come around to England, and then they defeated Arsenal in the Madrid fans. So he's happy that Arsenal living defender right now. Hey, my name is Oᴏᴜᴜ Akínyàndé. Let's do this again next week, Wednesday, 1 to 3 p.m. But of course, keep your dialogue only good guy with the bad intentions. And of course, there's BB.